Hello once again, YouTube riders. Welcome to Allegheny Motorcycle Adventures. Mark Ritchie with you, and today we're going to talk about riding when others aren't. Welcome to Allegheny Motorcycle Adventures. Ride if you there. It is a cold December morning. Oh, poor Rocky. It's a Saturday, and we had flurries overnight and this morning. Windy's indicating 36 degrees. And aside from the fact that I haven't done a video in a week or so, and the forecast isn't looking very good for riding, so A, I wanted to ride, B, I wanted to do a video. There's a few other subplots and subtitles to this ride. You gotta kind of condense them and get the most bang for your buck while you can, because tomorrow's supposed to be 28 degrees. The day after is 29, and the day after that is forecast for 22. And I don't much care to be riding when those long stretches of time don't get above freezing. Obviously the temperatures at night are going to be lower than that. But there's a few things to keep in mind when you're riding. A, as the only bike on the road, nobody's looking for motorcycles. A motorcycle is probably the last thing anyone's expecting to see. Now, I'm not going to preach to everybody. It's just kind of common sense. I think one of the things to riding when others aren't is like back roads. You know, don't be the only bike on the road with a whole gaggle of cars. So a little subtitle to this ride could be a hidden gem. We're on Dry Run Road, and this is one of Rose's and my shortcuts to Franklin. It's not really a shortcut, it's the long way. But this is one of these back roads that has very little traffic. Doesn't contain a whole lot in the form of scenery, unless you like forest. There's a couple of cool spots to note. Another subtitle to this could be Rider News, or Allegheny Motorcycle Adventureland News. And I don't know if any of you follow us on Facebook, but it's Allegheny Motorcycle Adventures 2025. And Rose and I took a ride to Lexington to Kenny's, inspired by a ride and a post by Augusta County bikers. And what intrigued me was they all got these sauce burgers. And when I was a teenager and a kid, we'd always go to Bob's Big Boy whenever we visited my grandparents in North Dakota, and it was just kind of this staple and a custom of ours to get pizza burgers. And I was kind of thinking it would be the same thing, and it really wasn't. It was a completely different type of sauce. Here's a kind of cool house up on the top of the hill straight ahead. And if you look to your right, there's a nice, and I'm not sure what range that is. I'm going to have to do some research. Post-edit research. But Kenny's was your typical classic American dive. There wasn't much to look at. When we got there, it was kind of intriguing because the parking lot was full. So, yeah, they were all about the food. Next time we go back there, we're going to have to try the fried chicken because that was just wafting everywhere. And here's another. We're at the top of Dry Run Road, so here's a nice, it's not an overlook, but get a nice glimpse of Jack Mountain. Wow, and there's still some snow squalls in the distance. It's a nice thing about riding in the winter is you get to see these views fairly clearly without any leaves obstructing. And they have poured down some salt on here, so we're just taking it easy. It's just nice to be riding. I mean, how often do you get to ride in Highland and Pendleton counties in January? So we went to Lexington. We rode through town, through the campus of VMI. You know, this one will sneak up on you and be like, whoa! And this was a post on our Facebook page, so there's a little story that goes along with it. And that was just a few days ago. And it was mostly, aside from Lexington, riding in the highway gear everywhere. We did about 200 miles and just like at 60 miles an hour for a few hours. It was just spectacular because it got into the 50s, I think, for a minute after 2 o'clock. But we actually encountered another bike. It was a touring bike, 2 Up, in Goshen. We were headed from Lexington to Warm Springs on 39. This is Dry Run Spirits. Jeff and Teresa Munn own it, and they're avid motorcycle enthusiasts as well. So you can go there and get some tree-to-table moonshine. They do have some hiking available, and if you're there on an adventure sport, they've got a really nice overlook at the top of their property with a pavilion, and it has a spectacular view of Jack Mountain. But yeah, you can go there in your car, you can go there on your adventure sport bike, or you can hike. So it's just a really cool place. One of a kind. It's unique. There's some an old homestead there on the left, which they also have the Pitzenbarger homestead, which was built in the early 1800s. It really wasn't that long ago, historically speaking, and it really kind of opened your eyes on what life was like back then. They didn't have any of the conveniences that we have today, and it was just, it's amazing what people went through in their daily lives that we just take for granted. So another thing that we have going on is Wendy's tires are bald. So I don't know. There's Bo Cephas. There's a camelback and a house and a corner. So don't really know what you're going to encounter going over that. And they've got kids, so always try and slow down here. Bat. So Wendy's got some tires sitting at home. We're gonna go to Psychological to have them put on in Mount Crawford. And along with, she probably needs a set of pads somewhere. but they're gonna knock all of that out for us. Yeah, getting tires put on in January. I might need another set come May or June. This is another one of those back roads that just really busy, especially on a Saturday like today. So you can find all these different ways to get from A to B. Oh, there's our first contestant. And there's dozens of ways you can, plot 60 miles, and you can find all of these hidden gems just waiting to be explored and checked out. Which is, I don't know about you guys, but when I go someplace, I want to be somewhere where I'm not standing in line or riding around in traffic. I kind of had my fill of events. I just want to be somewhere where I can be where I want, do what I want, go at my own pace, not show up someplace and they're out of stock of something or out of a particular dish that you had your eyes on the menu. So this comes out, if you watch the Thorn Creek video, on the same road that Thorn Spring Park is on. So if you were going from McDowell to Franklin, you could either take Thorn Creek Road or Dry Run. Or if you're doing a loop, you can go up one and back the other. But Pendleton County, Highland County, Virginia, Pendleton's West Virginia. Those are two places. Here's the park, and they do have tent sites as well. So if you're all about tent camping, they've got spots for that, and they've also got cabins. It'd be a cool place to stay at because it's close by to Franklin, which you have dining and fuel options, as well as country stores and dollar stores. They even have a grocery store, so if you want to pick up a slab of flesh and grill it later on, you can do that, or you can just eat someplace. Either one of those counties should be on your radar if you're looking for someplace quiet to go to. They do have events throughout the year. They have Treasure Mountain Festival here in Pendleton County, and Highland County has the Maple Festival for 2 weekends, and they also have a Hands and Harvest Festival, and they also have a county fair. But every other weekend other than those events, you can count on pretty much open, empty roads, manageable restaurant crowds. And just an intimate type of an experience. One where it's, not everybody's shoulder to shoulder and nuts to butts. And you will definitely get your riding on, and the type of riding where your feet are actually on the pegs throughout most of the day. And if you're like me, that's pretty much what I'm after. I want to go someplace where I'm riding. When I put my feet down, that's a noticeable distinction between being in motion and being still. Wow, look at this. And to see some sights that don't involve a strip mall or a box store or fast food joint. And like you'll be like just itching to talk to somebody. It's just, you know, it's such an abrupt difference to what a lot of people experience every day. Just being in these wide open spaces with very few people, and I don't know, to me that's what riding a motorcycle is all about. That's the stuff that you try and discover. But that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you that road and just show you how fun riding when others aren't is, and just appreciate having everybody along. Want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers. It makes it all worthwhile. And we'll bid our farewells and look forward to seeing you on the next one. So thanks again for watching Allegheny Motorcycle Adventures and Ride Extraordinary.